Let's look at a short C++ example about constructor behavior and inheritance. We have two classes, parent, which has two constructors, a default one and a constructor that takes an integer. And then we have a class child, which also has a default constructor and one that takes an integer. Now here's the interesting part. Inside our test here, we create two objects, child C1 and child C2. What do you think will print when we run it? Go ahead and think about this for a second, and then I'll go ahead and explain the result. Okay, let's go ahead and run this code and let's see what happens here. So as we can see, when we do the first child, we run the parent constructor and then the child constructor with no integer, right? And that makes sense. But when we go to the second child and we pass in an integer here, we first run the parent default constructor and then the child int constructor. But why is that? Well, it's because in C++, if you don't explicitly call a specific base class constructor in the initializer list, the compiler defaults to calling the base's default constructor, even if your derived constructor takes parameters. So if we want to call the parent constructor here, how could we fix that? Well, what we would do is we would replace it with this line here. And with this, we use the initializer list, which is this item here, to call which constructor we specifically want from the base class. So let's go ahead and remove this old item here. Let's save it. And now let's run this again. And as we can see, now we run the parent int constructor first, and then the child int constructor.